Hello, I'm Delit. I love cross stitch and I want to share that love of cross stitch with you. And today I'm actually going to do that in the latter part of the video. I have a couple of other things I want to show you first. It's not going to be a very long video though. So the first thing I want to show you is the Christmas gift that my dear friend, for many years now, probably 44 years, she knows better how old we were when we became childhood friends. She grew up with me in my hometown of Redmond, and she made me these beautiful towels. What she did was she crocheted an iris. She knew how much I love irises. So she crocheted this beautiful iris and sewed it onto a nice soft bath towel for me. I think that she just crocheted it. I don't know. She does tatting, so I don't know if she tatted it or just crocheted it, but she just said crochet, so I assume crochet. But she has a matching nice little, had to think for a minute what an iris looks like. Hand towel. I know it looks like a washcloth because I have it folded up, but see, it's a hand towel. And she knew that green is my favorite color, so she put this beautiful iris on a beautiful towel. And I was so excited to get it and have something to make my life beautiful and make me feel like a princess. That's how it makes me feel. So I really love and appreciate my dear friend Paula Jensen for that. She does lovely work. And she does all the different things. She's done bobbin lace and quilting and crocheting and let's see, latch hook rugs and I don't know. She made a wreath just the other day. She's much more talented with all of those things than me, especially like sewing and things like that. You know, one of these ladies that plays the piano and has learned how to do sign language with the deaf. And more information than she ever puts out about herself on the internet. This is what my mother got herself for Christmas. I did a terrible job with Christmas this year. My parents are homebound, basically. They can't really go out and Christmas shop. And it was enough. I mean, it was hard enough for me to just do Christmas dinner and put a tree with lights up, and even the lights were not finished. And the tree hasn't been taken down, and the box of ornaments that never went up on the tree is sitting by the tree waiting to go back upstairs. Um, but this is what she bought for herself. I don't know if the color comes out to you. Well, it's a hot pink is what it should look like. To me on my screen, it looks more raspberry, but it's really hot pink. So she's seen all these wonderful project bags that ladies on their YouTube videos have. You can see that she could put a strap here to carry it on her shoulder, but she's homebound. So she doesn't really need to put it on her shoulder. It's just a nice, convenient way to store her stuff. My mother loves the videos on organization. She loves all the neat ideas. And if she could make this instead of buy it, she would. I wanted to buy one of the fabric bags that ladies use that are just kind of a rectangle shape with a zipper, and you stick your fabric and hoop and whatever in, and maybe there's like a little pocket on the front, or you get a smaller bag for your floss or whatever. She wants to make it because one of you wonderful people, put out a video on how to make your own. So she wants a size that's bigger than you can buy. So that's a reasonable reason to want to make your own. So when I say she's homebound, it also means she kind of depends on me to be able to do a lot of the crafts that she wants to do. So sitting down and sewing it is going to require me to help her with that. Did I mention that we had an unfinished, like not completely decorated tree for Christmas? It's still up. Like it's on my list, but it's not at the top of my list. So we haven't done that yet. Anyhow. This is this wonderful bag. So it has the nice vinyl pocket here where she could put a project. I think it's really well made from what I can see. And she only paid like less than $30. I thought it was like $25, somewhere around there for it. Probably through Amazon. I'm not sure. But probably you can get it in different colors. So it has this nice big pocket, although she said she likes the project bags that have the zipper on top, not on the front, like most people seem to have. As you can see, we haven't put project in it yet, because we haven't really actually gotten her back into cross stitching. She got frustrated with it and stopped. Here's the strap, the shoulder strap. Very, very nice, really well made product, it looks like to me. Anyway, back here you have another large pocket where you can put, I hope this isn't affecting your ability to hear my voice. I'll have to double check, but sometimes it does. You can put like your hoop in here. If you want to store that separate from the fabric or the pattern, you can, or you could have a separate project over here if you want to put two projects. Then it has these little places where you can store things, and I'll show you that in a second. This was one of the neat parts of this. So the fabric bag she wants to make is not just a simple zip top, of course. There's a fabric thing kind of like this where you can have your project, but you'll also have something where you can store your floss. And so she has these two little pockets where you could put scissors, rulers, I don't know what you want to put in your little pockets. For now, she's just put floss, but it works. You could do your bobbins, you can do it on just like how it comes from the store, or these people who use thread drops, but she has not done. That seems messy to me, but then the other thing she got, she's seen this in these YouTube videos, so she thought, I want those. That looks like a great idea. Instead of using pins, look, it comes with a nice little bag to store these in. They are these little clips. They're kind of like a clothespin, but they're miniature. And they're mostly clear, but they have colors. So I guess she got a whole bunch of them. Made in China, it says. So, you know, green and yellow and purple, and I see pink and blue and just different colors. Anyhow, that's really handy, and she's just kept them. When people are displaying their cross stitch projects, they kind of clip them to a board of some kind. And she thought that's a great idea. But anyhow, it also just kind of comes, this is the brand, if you went to buy it. It comes with 120 pieces. And this was not expensive. Like, I think she got this to get herself up to the cost to get free shipping on the other product. I said, well, you'll have to pay this much in shipping. You may as well get a product that's about that much money. Yeah, so anyway, that's about that much money and not pay shipping. So I think it was Amazon. But other places that have that. Cool. And it has this nice little pocket on the front too. Or she's put her needles. That was the other thing she got, because the clips weren't enough. We had to also get a package of needles that were like $4. But see, they're Anchor. And they are her size 26. That's not really the size she prefers, but I think they didn't have the size 24 that she wanted. So she got the size 26. And see, she stored these little scissors here in the front in this little pocket. And this part offers still another ziploc, not ziploc, but zippered part, where you could put a small project or what other notions you need for your project. It's very nice. She really likes it how it has the two zippers that come up. That was something she really liked about it. And then it's also nice, I think, how you can. It's very handy. It stores it very well. And I'm excited. She was so excited to get it and get it all set up. Whoops. Gotta stick that in. Okay. Now on to the cross stitch part. I mean, that was cross stitch, but it was not my cross stitch. That was my mother's. And it was more just something that she got. I had ordered her a Christmas gift well after Christmas that's coming. It's coming from New York, and it just hasn't gotten here yet, and I wanted to go ahead and make the video. Therefore, it's not in this video, but I'll just put it in the next video that I make. It's like a little round wooden tray that you can arrange your bobbins in and have a needle minder there to hold your needles and put your scissors or your reading glasses or whatever. Not a lot, but a few things. You can have it personalized, which I liked. Choose the wood color that you want. And just have it sitting there on the table while you cross stitch or next where you sit or whatever. I thought it was, she already has things kind of sitting there where she stitches. And I thought, well, instead of them sitting by the lamp, what if we have this for them to go in and then it will be more organized and pretty. Okay, so the two things that I want to, well, three things. There are three things that I want to show you. The one is, I think I had done a video on Afghan patterns in magazine. Well, did I just do magazines? I think I probably showed you this Afghan pattern and that this is the one I really want to do. But then I couldn't afford to buy the Afghan fabric. Well, I'm about to wear, I can't afford to buy the fabric. I'm so excited. And also I discovered a very interesting thing. I was figuring out the size that I needed each square to be based on what the pattern said the number of stitches were in each square for the design, for how wide and tall it needed to be, which was 51. No. And I counted the actual design. It was smaller, just a few stitches smaller. And 51 was just a few stitches bigger than most Afghan fabrics you can find. So I was having an impossible time because I can't find this Angelica cloth, or at least not in the size that I need for this. Very, very difficult to find for me. But there's Hearthside, also not super easy to find. But anyway, it does work with Hearthside. But there's also one called Novara that would work. I just have to get a large enough cut of it. And it's going to be so beautiful. I can't wait to start it. So I just wanted to update you on that I am moving forward with that. And another update then is on the design that I'm doing from my Best of Paula Vaughan book 2. I know, it's been a long time since I showed this pattern that I decided I would start. And I have never really shown much progress for how many months it's been. A lot of people who make these videos have finished their project and they've gotten it framed and given it as a gift. No, but I have worked on it in just the last few weeks. I took a couple months break from cross stitch before Christmas and worked on a quilt for someone that I had not worked on for like a year while I got back into cross stitching, which was wonderful. But then I remembered that quilt and I was wanting to work on it. So I just kind of focused on that and the holidays for a couple of months. And then after Christmas, I was still working on it. But after the holidays, kind of after into January, like I said, just a couple of weeks ago, I just decided I wanted to start working on this project again. And these irises by this fence post reminded me of, no, not this fence post. That's not the one. Oops, there's a different, she has two iris projects in here. I showed you the wrong picture. I'm so excited to show you. I showed you the wrong one. But it's back here. It's irises by a fence post. And there's less to stitch than in that pretty little pattern. It's more rustic looking. There we go. So that just reminded me of home where I grew up in Redmond. We didn't have as much, at least where I lived in our house, we did not have a nice white fence, but we did have these barbed wire fences around. And actually our wooden posts weren't even that fancy. They were more like round logs that had just been cut down and made into a fence. But anyhow, we didn't have fancy pretty baskets and metal jugs. We would have used like a plastic pitcher. or a plastic something. Nothing really pretty. But the irises and daffodils did remind me of home. So I started this without showing you the pattern um, several months ago, earlier in the year, on this pretty white fabric. I think if I remember, the color of the fabric is oyster and it's MCG textiles. And I had just done a little bit of green the last time I showed you, and I just recently added some brown in here. But so this is leaves of the iris and stems, and this is here's my needle hanging out. Somebody came to the door, so I kind of stopped mid-stitch today when my aunt came by, all the way from North Carolina. Anyhow, here's what I've done. And yeah, so I was excited to start another color besides the light green, which I haven't finished. These are the irises kind of to the side of the fence post. Here's the fence post. They're the leaves that go off to the side, and there's still more here. But it goes up taller. Anyway, it goes down a little lower. It's not all that big of a project. It shouldn't take me that long. But it turns out I'm often too tired even to cross stitch. So that is why I've made the kind of progress that I have. I looked in a box and came across several projects that I have not worked on in years. As I said, you get the idea of how long it takes me to finish. And this is one that I started many, many years ago and have not finished, I think, because I'm lacking the floss color and had a hard time every time I would go look for it. It was the one that was always gone. It was never there. And I hadn't really pushed myself to just order the floss color or something like that. But also, I made some mistakes back when I was doing this that I don't usually make anymore. So patience with that, but I wanted to show you the design. So it's this cute little sandcastle bear. And I noticed in another person's YouTube video, she had done one of the other bears. So the designer, who is Marie Barber, it comes from this book, Cross Stitch the Special Moments of Your Life. I've done a bunch of patterns from this book. It's probably out of print. And as I said, I bought it a long time ago, which is why I've managed to stitch several patterns from it. It is from, 1997, 26 years ago. I think it's probably out of print. But you might find one used somewhere. And here, I'll show you all the other bears so that you can see. Anyway, this is my sandcastle bear. I'm going to hold it up close. You will see dirt and other things, which I will talk to you about. But first I want to show you this picture of all the different bears in my group. I have stitched a few of them, and there was another one that I need to finish working on, but it had more work to do on it. This, I know, has very little left, and so I grabbed that one to bring down and finish. And the other one, I should grab and finish too, because it will be fun. I loved making them. But here she is. Sorry for my handshake. Here are some of the other bears. And so this is the other one that I need to finish making that was in a different box, but has more work to do on it. And I'm excited to finish it. I haven't decided for sure what to do with it, if I should give it to someone or keep it, because my nephews, who I've given a couple of bears to, are kind of growing up and past that phase for like this kind of a bear. Although I gave this bear to my nephew when he was fully grown and an adult. But I kind of expected him to like it. And I appreciate him not letting me know if he didn't. Um, I had a lot of fun making this sailor bear and giving it to him. I made this one for my mother. It's a pillow. She doesn't like wings on angels, so I left the wings and the halo off just for my mom. So it's just a pretty little pink bear, not an angel bear, like everyone else would probably stitch. And I left the seams off of all of these, I think. And I didn't do it on this kind of fabric, like a light colored fabric. And I made some of the same mistakes with that, not with the Sailor Bear so much. The Sailor Bear, I was able to frame just fine, not on blue and not square like this. I think it's more like a rectangle. Um, but anyhow, so mistakes that I made on this. See that I used a hoop. The wrinkle is still here, although I don't think I have washed or tried to iron it yet, so we will see what comes out. I'm not holding out a lot of hope. Maybe you can't see the dirt, but it's pretty noticeable in person. So that's one of the reasons why I don't stitch in hoops anymore. You'll see I didn't really leave a lot of fabric to the side. Now, it's actually enough that I could frame it if I didn't have the dirt. And the dirt is right next to the design because I just used a hoop that was big enough to fit the design inside, which was great if I hadn't gotten dirt on it, which comes from me leaving it in the hoop and taking a long time to stitch it. And just, yeah, that just happens when you stitch in a hoop. So that's one of the reasons I don't usually stitch in hoops anymore. I like to stitch in hand. You'll notice that, well, so I've changed how I stitch. I used to use 4 strands of floss because I just didn't know. So it would say two strands of floss. I'd put it in the needle and I'd pull it down. And that made it into 4 because I would stitch it with them both hanging like that. And then my needle was trapped in the project until I finished the thread. So I also don't do it that way for the ease of getting the needle out when I want to get it out. And when I show you the back, yeah, I'm sorry and embarrassed at how I tended to the back. You can see I would stretch threads across. And I didn't tuck my threads in the back. So I'll still have to do my best to tidy those up, but I didn't really leave them long enough to do that. So I might have to take like a sewing needle and tack them in or something somehow. But yeah, this is not such a problem because it's a small design and it's only in a few places that I did it. But you can see that if you do that too much, going through a pattern, especially, like I had another one where I finally learned the lesson that doing that, even though you can't see it on the other side, makes it kind of hard once you wash and iron it to get it to lay flat and pretty. It might buckle it a little bit. And just the pulling and the tension on the fabric. Maybe not for you, but for me, that's what I found. So I don't do that now. The stitching itself has stayed pretty clean. It's just in that area around the hoop. And the rest of the fabric looks fine or will look fine once I wash it. Sorry. And so, yeah, one of the things that I like about it is she has you combine 2 threads, 2 different colors of floss in each cross stitch, not in every instance, but in certain colors. So I'm going to hold it up close so that you can kind of see that and the nice effect it gives. And I don't know if you could see that or not. But anyhow, on the brown, on the bear, there's various places. And it just gives it a nice look to it. I think there might be back stitching to do. Yeah, it looks like you back stitch around it, which I have not done the back stitching. So the stitches that you can see are missing, plus the back stitching. This will be finished. Because of probably the wrinkle and of the hoop and the color, the dirt probably won't come off. I won't frame it like I normally would. But what I think I decided I would do is cut out around it kind of close. I could use pinking shears, for instance, and you could then just put it like with a backing, like a hard backing, like cardstock or mat board or something. But I don't know why I would do that. I thought I would like it better sewn on a pillow with just a pretty fabric around it, which is what I did with the angel bear for my mother. Similar problem with her design and how to finish it, so I made it into a pillow. This pillow will look a lot better than that pillow. I liked the fabric for that pillow, but I just mean on the sewing construction, hopefully. Yeah. I don't know if I would personalize it in some way or put the date or just leave it like this. I haven't decided about that. That's a long time to explain my little bear to you. Anyhow, so I was going to just tell you about all my other bears. So this one, probably just keep for myself, make it a pretty pillow that I can put on my bed or something. That one, frankly, could go next to it. If I decide to keep it for myself, I could give it to someone. I'm not sure that they'll appreciate or treasure it the way I would. I haven't made the Santa Bear, but I found as I was watching a video, a YouTube video that someone else made of their cross stitching, they had already made this and they put it up and framed it. It looked so nice. Her videos are under Simply Celia. She has a really delightful personality and is from the Philippines, I think. But it's in English, so you should be able to enjoy her video. I have not made the fishing bear. I did make the Noah's Ark bear for my nephew when he was little. And this, like I said, is for my older nephew who he is almost middle-aged now. He's the oldest one. He's kind of closer to the age of my youngest brother. I mean, he is closer to the age of my youngest brother than he is to the age of the other nephews because he's my sister's son. So he's just older than all the other kids. So I'll have to show you this book sometime and all these lovely designs that she has. My book is kind of falling apart. Like, I told you how old it was and how much I've used it, and that's why that. And the last thing to tell you about is a goal I have for myself. Other people, I'm not supposed to go off of other people so much, but they can inspire you and help you do things better. So, one of the things that I've noticed is people use a book of days and they keep track of everything about their cross stitching. I am not interested in keeping track of as much information as some people who know how many stitches they've done or how many they do each day. They plan out when they're going to cross stitch a project ahead of time. Like they know when they're going to cross stitch each part of the project. Possibly they know which day they're going to for the whole year. And I think it gives them great pleasure to do that or to create a spreadsheet. I'm not the organized kind of person, and it wouldn't be enjoyable for me to do that. But I would like to get my projects finished and put into a pillow and on the bed or given as a gift, get the floss that I need to finish it. And so I thought, what if I have these goals and ideas to do that, but what if I actually wrote them down in a planner? Not for the whole year in advance. I don't know my life that well in advance, but I could make a goal for a month ahead and say, well, this month I'm going to get the floss I need to finish the sandcastle bear, and I'm going to start stitching on it. This is not super impressive compared to people who have. One lady had more than 90 WIPS works she's working on currently. A lot of them have 20 to 30, which not me. I mean, I have a lot of projects, but they're in boxes upstairs that I am not working on them. And if I look at some of the fabrics, I say, which project is this? Because I didn't write it down. So it's not a terrible idea. I mean, I kind of like the idea. On this one, I don't need to write down. I know exactly which project this is. But on a project that I've started and haven't made a lot of progress on, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have a piece of paper that I guess you don't necessarily want to pin it to it. But in any case, that you keep with it somehow, I guess. That does say which project it is, the name of the project, at least, or the book that it's in or something. Um, I don't really have the time to go through and do that right now to organize my life that way with my cross stitching. But I could do it like a project at a time. As I come across something, I could say, hey, wait, I think I know what this is, and write it down, because at 50, who knows before I get to it if I will still remember that the next time I pull it out. But my main goal then with that is to write down some of the goals that I have with my cross stitching and try to make some progress on like getting some things framed and made into pillows and starting working on some things and getting the materials that I need. And like my goal for getting certain kinds of things like the Afghan fabric that I want to buy. Well, I kind of have to spread out when I buy things. I can't just buy everything I want at once. I guess most of us can't. But, like prioritize, like, well, I'm going to frame this project here and I'm going to get the Afghan fabric first. And then I will get whatever other piece of fabric or floss that I need. Next, floss is not as much of an issue for me because I haven't used the silk or the overdyed floss. And although I think I might enjoy starting or trying a project with that, I don't think it's in the near future. So down the road a little bit. I think I will just ramble if I keep making this video any longer. I may have been doing that a little bit. Sorry for that, but I appreciate any comments you have, and I look forward to sharing more cross stitch with you next time.